In the Premier League, reputation counts for very little when results start going wrong. Big stadiums, famous players, and huge fan bases might suggest security, but history has shown that even established clubs can suddenly collapse. With pressure occasionally building around Tottenham Hotspur, it raises a familiar question: are some teams simply too big to be relegated? Since the competition began in 1992, several well-known clubs have discovered that the answer is no. One of the earliest surprises came in the league's very first season. Nottingham Forest finished bottom despite their remarkable legacy under legendary manager Brian Clough. Forest had once conquered Europe with 2 European Cup victories. Their Premier League campaign even began positively when Teddy Sheringham scored the winner against Liverpool FC in the first Super Sunday broadcast. But Sheringham was soon sold to Spurs, key defender Des Walker had already departed, and the team slid down the table. Even the emergence of young midfielder Roy Keane couldn't prevent relegation, which also marked the end of Clough's 18-year reign. Years later, Queen's Park Rangers tried a different approach by assembling a squad packed with big names. Players such as Park Ji-sung, Jose Bozingwa, and Julio Cesar arrived alongside expensive signings like Christopher Samba and Loic Remy. Despite the star power, performances never improved. Manager Mark Hughes was replaced by Harry Redknapp, but QPR managed only 4 league wins and were relegated. In 2013, Wigan Athletic experienced one of the strangest moments in English football. Managed by Roberto Martinez, they shocked Manchester City in the FA Cup final when Ben Watson scored a dramatic stoppage-time header at Wembley. Yet just 4 days later, defeat to Arsenal FC confirmed their relegation from the Premier League. Another dramatic fall involved Aston Villa in 2016. Only a year earlier they had reached the FA Cup final under Tim Sherwood. But after losing key players Christian Benteke and Fabian Delph, results collapsed. Managerial changes, including the appointment of Remy Gard, failed to stop the decline and Villa finished bottom with just 17 points. Some relegations were decided by tiny margins. Middlesbrough FC went down in 1997 after being docked 3 points for failing to play a match against Blackburn Rovers. Without that penalty, they would likely have survived. Even former champions have not been safe. Blackburn Rovers were relegated in 1999, just 4 years after winning the Premier League. More recently, Leicester City, famous for their incredible 2016 title triumph, dropped out of the top flight in 2023 despite having players like Jamie Vardy and James Maddison in the squad. Perhaps the most famous collapse came at Leeds United. After reaching the Champions League semi-final in 2001, heavy spending on stars such as Rio Ferdinand and Robbie Keane eventually backfired. Financial problems followed, leading to relegation in 2004. And then there is West Ham United in 2003, often described as the strongest squad ever to be relegated. With talents like Joe Cole, Michael Carrick and Paolo Di Canio, they still finished with 42 points, the highest total for any relegated side in a 38-game Premier League season. All of these stories highlight the same brutal truth: in the Premier League, history and reputation offer no protection. When performances drop and mistakes add up, even the biggest clubs can fall.